QuestionPro's Edit Survey options give you the opportunity to change and fine-tune your survey questions. The main menu's Edit Survey tab defaults to the Add Edit Questions screen, where you'll find your most common editing options. You can edit each part of your survey from this screen, including the header and footer, but we'll concentrate on our question editing options. Clicking on the Edit button of the question you'd like to work with defaults you to the Text and Choices screen, where you'll have your basic setup options. First, in this upper left corner, is a toggle to change between your question types. For some question types, this isn't applicable, but for multiple choice, as in this example, you can change Select One to Select Many, or vice versa. What's important to mention here is that changing question types deletes all data collected for the question you're affecting. If you didn't overwrite the auto-created question code when the question was created, you can edit that here. This question code will not be seen by the respondent. It's only used to help you organize your survey. In the question text area, you have a few standard word processing tools to work with. Bold, italics, and underline you're probably familiar with. The hyperlink tool works to turn your highlighted text into a clickable link to your website or a site you'd like for your respondent to visit. And finally, the alignment button is used to center the text. Clicking on the Other button gives the respondent an option to write in an alternative answer. Most questions have additional editing options in Settings. If you'd like to make certain questions of your survey mandatory for the respondent, you can choose to Enable Validation. This puts the familiar red asterisk next to your question to indicate it's being a required question. Whether you realize it or not, you could potentially be adding bias to your survey by how you order your questions. QuestionPro's randomization does you the favor of randomly switching the order of your respondents' given answer choices. Answer Display gives you control over answer type with regard to the question you've selected, and Answer Orientation affects your question layout, horizontal versus vertical. The text button alignment tells QuestionPro where to put your answer text in relation to your radio button, if applicable. By clicking Default, you can pre-fill the respondent's survey with that answer already chosen. You'll want to be particularly careful with this function because having something already selected certainly creates a bias for that answer. We've seen what randomization does for answer choices, but if you'd like to exclude a particular answer from that randomization, you can do so by clicking its checkbox. Excluding an Other or None of the Above option is a common use case. When none of the above is the final answer of a multi-select question, you can mark that option as an exclusive option. If the respondent attempts to select an answer in addition to none of the above, QuestionPro's validation will catch the contradictory selections and prompt the respondent. Because the exclusive option feature sets a type of validation, validation must be enabled on the question as well. Clicking into the next tab of the menu, Display Settings, we can add additional text with instructions or notes for our respondent. And from the Display dropdown, you have some color and border options. If you have enabled auto-numbering for your survey from your global survey settings, there may be a few places where you'd like to skip auto-numbering. Auto-numbering is most often skipped for presentation or header question types. Finally, you have some font and width options for your questions and answers. The last section is Tips. If you're a regular QuestionPro user, you're most likely familiar with the help icons that open up a knowledge base help file. You can insert these help icons into your survey. By writing your help text here, you can offer the respondents more information or an explanation of a potentially challenging question. For more information on editing questions, search the editing help files of the QuestionPro knowledge base.